He walked out under the lights with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. The crowd was roaring, phones up, and Keith Urban did what he's always done. Picked up his guitar and gave every ounce of himself to the music. But if you looked closer, something was missing. That silver wedding band that had been glued to his hand for nearly 2 decades was gone. Just days after news broke that his 19-year marriage to Nicole Kidman had fallen apart, Keith was back on stage, performing like nothing had happened, even as his personal life unraveled behind the scenes. Fans could feel it, the mix of heartbreak and defiance, the kind of energy that only comes from someone standing in the middle of chaos, but refusing to break. And when he stepped off the stage that night, one question was on everyone's mind. Was this a man trying to move on, or one desperately trying to prove he's okay? For years, Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman looked untouchable. Hollywood's golden couple. They met back in 2005, married just a year later, and for nearly 2 decades, they sold the dream of a steady, grounded love story in an industry built on breakups. Keith called her his life anchor. Nicole said she was her safe place. They seemed inseparable, 2 stars who somehow kept their marriage private and peaceful. But behind those red carpet smiles, things had started to shift. Sources close to the couple say the cracks began to show earlier this summer. Rumors suggest Keith grew restless while on tour. Friends described it as a midlife storm, a sudden need for space and change. Nicole, on the other hand, reportedly wanted to fight for the marriage. By late September, everything spilled into the open. Nicole filed for divorce, citing unreconcilable differences, ending 19 years of marriage that fans once believed would last forever. Since then, the two have been living separately, Nicole staying in Nashville with their daughters, while Keith continues touring across the U.S., using music to drown out the noise. And even though they haven't spoken publicly about the breakup, both have been sending messages in their own quiet ways, from the songs he chooses to play to the looks she's been serving on every red carpet since. But the story didn't stop there, because Keith's next move left everyone wondering if he was trying to heal or to send a message. The first time Keith Urban hit the stage after the divorce news, fans could tell this wasn't just another show. It happened in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Thousands packed the arena, waiting to see if he'd say something or pretend nothing had changed. From the moment he walked out, it was clear something was different. Gone was the wedding ring. Gone was The Fighter, the song he once dedicated to Nicole at every show. In its place, he performed You'll Think of Me, and fans swore they heard a new edge in his voice. Raw, tired, almost like he was singing straight through the pain. Then came the moment no one expected. During one of his slower songs, the giant screen behind him flashed a family photo, Nicole and her 2 daughters smiling together. It wasn't new footage, just part of an older show montage. But this time, it hit different. The crowd went silent for a few seconds. Some thought it was a quiet tribute. Others wondered if it was a reminder of what he'd lost. What really caught fans off guard was his energy. Instead of breaking down or pulling back, he poured even more into the performance, diving into the crowd, belting out lyrics like he was chasing something he couldn't catch. He smiled, he laughed, he played every guitar solo like his life depended on it. But behind all that showmanship, you could see it. That flicker of emotion that only comes when the music is covering something deeper. And if anyone thought this was a one-time emotional outburst, his next show proved otherwise. The very next night, Keith was back under the spotlight, this time at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. No ring, no hesitation, just him, his guitar, and a crowd ready to scream every lyric back. But here's the thing. Keith didn't act like a man going through heartbreak. He acted like a man trying to outrun it. Halfway through the show, he stepped off the stage and straight into the audience, smiling, taking selfies, hugging fans like it was the last night on Earth. And then out of nowhere, he launched into a cover of Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan, a song about identity, change, and finding freedom in chaos. Not exactly your typical country anthem. Fans couldn't help but wonder if that choice meant something. Was Keith sending a message? Maybe it was his way of saying he's done holding back, that the man once known for love songs and devotion is ready to embrace something new, even if it hurts. What's wild is that the emotional imagery from the night before still appeared on screen. It wasn't new, it wasn't edited out, it was just there. A frozen reminder of the life he'd built, now playing behind him as he tore through guitar solos. And even though insiders say that display was part of the show long before the split, it suddenly felt symbolic, like the past was literally following him on tour. He never mentioned Nicole's name, not once. But fans didn't need him to. Every song, every smile, every pause between lyrics, it all felt like he was speaking through the music. Still, this wasn't the only thing keeping people talking, because behind the scenes, whispers were starting to spread about why the marriage ended, and one name kept popping up. It didn't take long before fans started noticing something else, a quiet change that sent social media into overdrive. Keith's longtime touring guitarist, Maggie Baugh, suddenly wasn't on stage. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. A few days later, Maggie broke her silence with a cryptic Instagram post. A black and white photo and the words, "Sometimes stepping back is the only way forward. Big news soon." That one post blew up instantly, with fans flooding the comments asking what happened between her and Keith. Now, there's no solid proof of anything beyond the professional, but that hasn't stopped the speculation. Some online rumors claimed the two had grown unusually close during the tour. Others suggested creative tension or personal disagreements. Insiders, though, have pushed back, saying Maggie's departure was planned weeks earlier for her own music commitments. Still, fans weren't buying it. They pointed to the timing, the missing ring, the emotional performances, the sudden shakeup in his band. It all looked like too much of a coincidence. And the rumor mill only got louder when Keith tweaked a few lyrics in his live set, with some fans swearing they heard subtle references to trust and change. For now, it's all whispers, unverified, unconfirmed, and maybe completely wrong. But in the world of celebrity breakups, perception often matters more than truth. And as the gossip grew louder, Nicole Kidman made her own move, one that turned the narrative completely on its head. While Keith was pouring his heart out on stage, Nicole Kidman was crafting a very different story, one told through poise, silence, and a perfectly timed transformation. Just days after the divorce filing hit the headlines, Nicole appeared in Paris for Chanel's fall showcase, walking hand in hand with her daughters, her wedding ring gone, her smile effortless. Gone were the old curls and soft waves fans were used to. In their place, a sharp, modern cut with fresh bangs that screamed reinvention. It wasn't just a hairstyle, it was a message. That same week, Chanel officially announced Nicole as their newest global ambassador. And for the first time since the split, she seemed completely in control. No tears, no statements, just elegance. Fashion critics called her look a power play, while fans saw it as a quiet act of strength. Nicole showing that she didn't need to talk about the breakup to own the narrative. She kept busy too, attending events, posing for photos, and stepping into the public eye with the same grace she's always had. Insiders say she's focused on her daughters and upcoming projects, choosing to heal privately while keeping her image untouchable. And yet her silence has done exactly what Keith's music is doing. It's made people feel something. Because while he's processing heartbreak through performances, she's mastering the art of the calm comeback. But even as they both forward, one question still hangs in the air. Are these just two people taking different paths, or is there more to the story than either of them are letting on? When you step back and look at everything, the timing, the symbolism, the silence, it starts to feel like both Keith and Nicole are speaking, just not with words. On one side, you've got Keith, emotional, raw, and unpredictable. His performances feel less like concerts and more like therapy sessions in front of thousands of strangers. He's switching up lyrics, dropping songs tied to Nicole, and covering tracks that sound like confessionals. Every night on stage, he's rewriting the story in real time. On the other, there's Nicole, calm, composed, and unshakable. No interviews, no emotional posts, just that single, unspoken message. I'm fine without you. She's letting her actions and her silence do the talking. It's classic Nicole Kidman, refined, strategic, and effortlessly in control. But here's what fans can't stop debating. Is Keith trying to win her back through his music, or is he deliberately closing that chapter? And why did their separation feel so sudden when for years they looked like the couple who'd never break? Some insiders claim Keith's touring lifestyle and midlife restlessness pushed them apart. Others think the real story is more complicated, about two people who simply grew in different directions after almost 20 years together. And yet both of them seem to be playing their roles perfectly. Keith, the open wound. Nicole, the untouchable icon.